Hello and welcome back to another Serendipity Sunday. Today we'll be talking about art styles, and if you don't know what art styles are, they're basically how an artist envisions and expresses their ideas by using things like colors and compositions. So the first myth I'd like to talk about is that having an art style will ensure you make good art. No. They aren't as important as we think they are. But sure, they are fun to have, but it's not essential to ensure that you make good art. It's all about your art skills at the end of the day. So you don't particularly need to have an art style, especially when you're just starting off. So you don't need to be as good as the professional artist you look up to. It's more important that you focus on your skills, you practice a lot, and focus on the individual concepts, and then you can combine all of the knowledge that you've learned and gained into creating coherent pieces that represent you. So it's not as important when you're starting off, so don't worry about it as a beginner artist. But even if you're an experienced artist, you'll surely understand that the real difference comes from the skills that you learn and effort that you're putting into your art. And not the active pursuit of having a perfect art style that you will stick to for the rest of your life. The second idea is that art styles can be learned by copying others. Now, it is important to understand the difference between copying and taking help from others. I always talk about how it is important to take help and inspiration from others' work. But it's definitely a bad thing to imitate the artwork you see in hopes that you will become just as good as the artist who made these. Copying in the context of developing art style, in my opinion, is super ineffective because what are you even learning from that? If you're focusing on learning composition, colors, or mediums, then copying could be an effective technique. Of course, don't try to sell the repurposed artwork that you've stolen from other artists, but as long as it stays in the depths of your sketchbook and you're learning something from it, you're completely fine. But then again, don't think that by copying someone else's artwork and art style will ensure and make you develop your art style as well. Again, if you like something that you see, look for a color palette that you could use from that artwork. Look for an element that the artist has used and maybe you could redesign that and use it in your own artwork, and look for placements and composition of objects that you could implement in your own artwork as well. Another misconception that even I developed was that having an art style means that all your art will look the same across the different mediums that you're using. No, that is not the case. Learn to realize that if you're going to do the same thing again and again, you're going to get tired of it all eventually, and you're also not going to grow as an artist. So it's important to experiment and try new things. And again, that is the crux of the video, that you need to experiment more, and then instead of going for a particular goal, learn to enjoy the process. So look for mediums you like using and focus on the journey and not so much on the goal. Developing an art style is a result, and it's not something you work towards. Rather, it's something that comes along the way when you find a technique or a medium that you love. Also, here's an important reminder that it's not the art style that will make your artwork your identity. The identity and the main element in your art is you. So you are the common element in all your artworks, and the fact that you created those masterpieces will give your art identity. Especially due to the fact that art comes from within and it is a representation of your personality. So don't worry about things like art styles and your art not being a representation of you. Just pour your heart out on the paper and have fun creating. Don't compare yourself to others, and it just doesn't need to be complicated. That being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Do like and subscribe to their channel, and I'll see you on another Serendipity Sunday. Bye.